Track 1. The Introduction. The Gettysburg Address, Lincoln, the Civil War, the Times, originating with Pericles in ancient Athens. The Gettysburg Address is the most famous speech in American history. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, delivered it on November 19, 1863, in the middle of the Civil War, or some call it the War Between the States. This speech was given less than 12 months before Abraham Lincoln had to run for his second term. The war had just seen the tide turn in favor of the North, but barely. It would be 2 long, hard years before Lee surrendered to Grant at the home of Wilmer and Virginia McLean in the town of Appomattox Courthouse, Virginia. The Emancipation Declaration, freeing the slaves, had only been announced 12 months before on November 22, 1862. Things were still in turmoil, but the North seemed to have the edge when the Gettysburg Address was given. The governments of the northern states and the federal government itself believed it was time to honor the fallen at Gettysburg and to declare victory at the same time for the North and the principles of the Union. It was this combination of events which made Lincoln's speech so memorable, as he wove all the theories and themes together so brilliantly. Lincoln modeled his talk on Pericles' funeral oration given in Athens in 431 BC at the end of the first year of the Peloponnesian War, as reported by the historian Thucydides. Lincoln looked back to the last democracy before that of America, over 2,000 years before. 7 years ago referred specifically to the Declaration of Independence, written in 1776, the date the next democracy started 2 millenniums after that of Athens. Democracies of some form are the dominant form of government in our world today. But America, as with Athens 2,000 years before, stood alone in 1776, seeking to become the first democracy in 2 millenniums. America started on this great quest and change in government style just 87 years before the Gettysburg Address was given by Lincoln. In less than 100 years, the first democracy in the Western world since Athens was in danger and threatened to go asunder or fall apart during Lincoln's presidency. It was in this momentous context that one of America's greatest presidents stood up and delivered a resounding but brief speech considered the finest in American history. Track 2. The Civil War, 1861 to 1865. The Civil War grew out of a number of issues between the northern and southern states from the Declaration of Independence in 1776 to 85 years later, 85 years, and an additional 2 years for the Gettysburg Address, or 7 years later, when the differences could no longer be dealt with politically, but descended into a civil war to resolve them permanently. The issues related to power and control, spurred on by commerce as the North rapidly became industrialized, benefiting from superior transportation systems to the then western states such as Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin, with the Hudson River connecting transport up to the Erie Canal going westward, connecting to Lake Erie and the rest of the Great Lakes water system for inexpensive transport. Railroads were still scarce and few in number. They would come strongly into play in the post-Civil War period known as the Gilded Age, between 1865 and 1900. There were no trucks yet, and wouldn't be for another 70 years or so. The intercontinental road system was still 90 years away, to put matters in context. These circumstances catapulted New York City into becoming the major American center for commerce
Sample complete. Ready to continue?